Good morning. We are docking right now in Puerto Princesa, Philippines. So today is day 8, already over halfway of this 14-day incredible Southeast Asia itinerary from Taiwan to Singapore. And if you're new here, my name is Meredith, and this is my channel where I show you all of my adventures as I cruise around the world. Today in Puerto Princesa, I have a tour booked. It is the Underground River Tour. It's a UNESCO heritage site, and it looks incredible. The reviews are amazing. I booked this through Viator, so I will put the link in the description. I actually booked it with a group of people through the Facebook group for this cruise. There will be 10 of us on this tour, so not a large group at all. It'll be very small. It's about 7:15, and I have to get a bite to eat. Tour starts at 8, and 8 is our docking time, so we have to be off right at the beginning of the disembarkation process so that I can be first out on the port to meet our group. And since this is a third-party tour, want to make sure we have the full amount of time and we get back to the ship before departure. I think our departure today is planned for 4 p.m., which means our all aboard time is 3:30. It's time to head out.
Up to the national park itself. He will drive us up until the wharf where we will take the motorized boat. Alright, welcome to the Philippines, welcome to Palawan everybody. 20 minutes on the motorized boat going to the beach, you land. If you have Alaska, the US, as your last frontier, the Philippines would have Palawan as our last ecological frontier, because every year we keep on discovering a lot of species of wildlife in our forest.
Okay, we just got to the first location, and the drive was like an hour and a half. I did not expect it that it was going to be that long, and they were not joking about the winding roads and potential seasickness, so I did prepare for that, but I'll talk about that later. So this is the restaurant where we're going to eat lunch later as well.
Go to the toilet.
So cute. Okay, so as I was saying, very windy, crazy roads for most of the drive. So if you are at all prone to seasickness, motion sickness, prepare. I wore a patch behind my ear, a motion sickness patch. They work really well for me. The Bonin and the tablets, the chewable ones, don't really work that well for me, but I brought those as well because we are about to get on a boat and the water looks pretty choppy out there. So I think it's going to be a rough boat ride in addition to the rough van ride. Also, my sunglasses literally just broke while they were sitting on my head. Just all of a sudden I heard a crack and broke. So I didn't bring any spares with me, so I'll just have to wear them broken. Hopefully they'll hold up for the rest of the day. It's actually sunny out here, so there was a lot of clouds earlier, but we have sunshine. It's beautiful, it's warm. I think we're going to be here about 3 hours. He did say there was going to be a wait, just because there's so many buses, especially with the size of the cruise ship that is here today. It'll be busy, and there will be some waiting. So. I just ran back to the van to grab a couple of things. Got my water and put some more sunscreen on. Got my extra battery for my camera because I think we're going to be waiting for about half an hour to 45 minutes to actually board the boat. So because of how many people are here and how many tours are here, so we're just going to hang out near the restaurant without having to worry about sitting over with the huge crowd that's on the actual dock. So a much nicer spot to wait in. Our tour guide has been great so far. Super communicative and clear with instructions and direction and leading us away from like the pack so that we can, you know, have our own space to chill and not be surrounded by tons of other people. So it is now 11:15 and we've just gotten word from our tour guide that we'll be starting, so our group, so there's 13 groups of 10 probably, will be loading starting now. So I think we're a group like 10 of 13. I don't know, the logistics are not super clear to me. I think that they ended up letting a lot of the cruise line booked excursions go first, so I don't know how it's actually working, but either way, we ended up eating. So they have a buffet here with lots of really, really good food. They had a tofu curry with potatoes and squash, and it was amazing. Sauteed vegetables and rice and lots of meat options, skewers, spring rolls, all kinds of food. There's so much stuff. I'm not super hungry because I ate before I left this morning, not knowing how long it would be until we would be eating. So it ended up that we're eating early and then we'll do our tour and then we won't need to come back and eat after the tour. It is a lot of waiting, so we've just been sitting around here for about an hour and a half now. I think at this point there are so many buses and so many vans that are all here to do the exact same thing. So our tour guide did warn us that there would be a lot of waiting involved, but it is more than, it's a lot. So we're just sitting around kind of, you know, talking and chatting at the buffet area. There's places to sit and relax. Unfortunately, the weather has taken a turn, so it does look like it's raining lightly now. The sun is gone, the rain has come in. It's unfortunate that we missed the good weather this morning. It does look like the visibility is almost gone now for the mountains, but it is what it is. So we'll head out here shortly, I think, maybe within the next 20 minutes or so, to board the first boat that will take us to the river. All right, off we go to wait more. We left the buffet station. We are now over near the dock area where we're gonna wait to board our boat. It's 11:45, just to give you a sense of the timing.
Okay, stay here, guys.
Fortunately, the rain has let up some. It looks like it's clearing a little bit, so maybe we missed the worst of it.
Well, I think it's like two different.
While we're waiting here in this line, let me tell you about some things you should do. Bring as little as possible. Put it in a waterproof pouch. So I have this pouch. It holds like just enough, you know, like money, cards, ID, phone. I would definitely bring something like that because they did say you will get wet, and you do also need to pay the entrance fee of 150 pesos. So you need some cash with you. There are ATMs around here though that I've seen, so I think you can get potentially get cash out. It's now afternoon, after 12. We've been waiting here for way more than 5 minutes, which is what he said. I'm starting to get really nervous now about getting back to the ship on time because it was at least an hour and a half drive, at least, for us to get here. And then we've been here now for over 2 hours. I don't know how long this boat portion takes, but I am nervous. The ship will not wait for us if we're not back.
Wala, nauna na yung isa, pinasakay din sa isang bangka.
Okay, I'm off the boat. It was a little over 20 minutes to get here, but not too far. So we'll see if we can get this done in the allotted time. I'm so nervous. All right, I think I instilled enough fear in our guide to get us moving because he's like, go, 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 go. Go get a helmet, go to the beach, go follow the path. So we're on our way. My helmet. So I don't know if all these people here are waiting to go or if some of them have returned and they're waiting for the rest of their group. Looks like 8 people to a canoe. So our whole group cannot go together, so we shall see what happens. All right, we're still waiting on a boat. It is 12:47 now, so I'm not sure how much longer it'll be for our boat, but there are still several people from ship excursions, and apparently there's crew still here, crew from the ship waiting, so we are being reassured that we're fine with the timing, so.
I have to wait till we get to mainland.
You know what? Go Coron now. Go straight to Coron.
Go straight to Coron.
The Puerto Princesa subterranean underground river is one of the longest in the world at 8.2 kilometers and has not been fully explored due to oxygen deprivation deep in the cave. The river winds through the St. Paul's Cave and flows out directly into the South China Sea. It can be navigated by boat up to 4.2 kilometers. The unique features of the caves are the incredible rock formations of stalactites and stalagmites, as well as thousands of bats, of which we saw many during our boat ride. While on the boat, we were provided with an audio guide that informed us there is no talking while on the ride, as it can disturb the bats, which use echolocation or sound waves to guide them. There are rock formations throughout the entirety of the cave that our audio guide pointed out along the way with the help of our boat driver's headlamp. The formations appeared as various objects, such as fruit and different foods, animals, wildlife, and plants, or in one instance, a religious construction including the statue of Mary, doves, and even at one point, the image of Jesus. I can't fully convey the experience of this 45-minute ride in the darkness with only the sound of bats and occasional dripping water, but it was well worth the wait and incredibly fascinating to hear about the biodiversity, preservation tactics being employed by the government, and the imaginative spin on the shapes and appearances of the rock formations. I thoroughly enjoyed this experience. Okay, it's 1:35-ish. We're back, heading to the beach to get back on our boat to go back to shore. So I think our time was slightly shorter than what they estimated for the actual boat ride, but let's just hope we can get back to the ship on time. I don't like cutting it close. It makes me so anxious. But I think we'll be okay. The caves were awesome. Very cool. You had an audio device that you could listen. There was no speaking inside to keep the bats. Oh, then check this out. Hey, buddy. Anyway, the boat guide points his headlamp to places where it wants you to see, so they prevent light from causing any further harm to the caves. So they don't post anything up on the walls, they don't put anything foreign in the caves to keep it pristine. And so the only light source is from the guide's headlamp. And then we listen to the audio so the noise does not affect the bats, because there's a lot of bat activity and a lot of bats living in the cave. It was very cool. So I guess the process to call our boat back from out in the water is just to yell. There's no other communication between the boats and shore, so we just had to yell and yell and yell until the number 17 boat that I'm on heard the yelling and is coming back now to get us.
Miss you guys. It was an amazing race.
Amazing race. It was an amazing race.
Driver did a great job.
We made it! We made it! Okay, I hear loud music. They better let us on after all this, let me tell you. Look at all these people out on their balconies waiting for pier runners. Okay, there's other buses that are behind us, so we are safe! We are safe! We made it! That was scary. Craziest drive I've ever experienced. Whew. Security inside the port instead of on the ship, I assume. Oh, they're waving goodbye. Poor not leaving yet. We're not leaving yet. Only one gangway still down. All these people up there watching us arrive back to the ship late. Alright, so I don't know if everyone's back. We're watching to see if there's any more. I think someone just said they were only leaving the gangway open for 7 more minutes. How stressful. My watch has been recording my heart rate all day and thinks I've been working out because of how anxious and stressed I've been. Well, he looks very official. This doesn't look good. They just let in like 5 more vans. I don't know if they had cruise passengers or not, but they all just drove up behind there where the security is. Alright, that's it, y'all. The last 4 passengers that made it back. The gangway came up at 4:14 officially, so either everyone made it back or they are proceeding without some of the few remaining guests. We are moving. I have found a spot here at Spice H2O, and I'm just going to sit in this little comfy chair for the next few minutes and decompress from that wild day, and I will do a full recap later to tell you everything that happened that I didn't get on camera, which was pretty much everything. So, but I'll do my final thoughts and whether I would recommend it or not. Sailing. The landscape is so beautiful. You got those clouds just kind of hovering over the mountain range. I'll have to put a picture of it on the map to show you where we started from the cruise port and where we ended, so you can just see what the trek was like and how far it is, given there's no traffic, of course. Well, I just got back to the cabin and they didn't take my laundry to get washed, and I was trying to figure out why, because I filled the bag and filled out the form this morning, but I forgot to sign the bottom of it. So for future reference for you and for me, don't forget to sign it. We've got waves tonight for sure. Lots of choppiness on the water out there. I can feel the ship rocking a little bit, but still nothing compared to what it felt like those first couple of days. Good evening. I want to tell you about my day. I showed you all the clips. I showed you everything that happened in order, but what I want to make sure I show you is what was supposed to happen. In the description of this tour, which I know I said at the beginning of the video was booked through Viator, technically it wasn't. It was booked with the same tour company that offers the tour through Viator. Someone from our Facebook group reached out to the tour guide and asked if we could be picked up from the cruise port, because it's not an option if you try to book through Viator. They want to pick you up from a hotel. Reached back out, they said, okay, cancel through Viator and book directly with us. And everything was fine. We booked directly with them, we paid them directly. It is the same company that runs the exact same tour on Viator that I will link in the description so you can go look at it yourself. So in the description of this tour, nowhere does it say the length of the drive from your pickup point to the park itself. And the reason for that, I believe, is because they could pick you up from any point within a 10-mile radius. Where we were picked up was at the cruise port, and so the drive to get to the park was an hour and a half. I didn't realize this when I booked. I'm not sure if anyone else in my group realized how long the drive was, but that was probably one of the first main issue. Second, when we got there, we were told numerous times that the wait to get on the first boat that will take us to the underground river location was a 20-minute boat ride, but we had to wait in line behind all the groups in front of us. So all the groups that were there today to go see the underground river, there were so many. The cruise line had, I don't know, 20 or 30 vans probably. Then there were third-party vans. It was it was madness at the location. There were vans everywhere, buses, and I mean, I didn't even talk about this, but the drive to get there was insane. We were flying and whipping around hairpin turns for an hour and a half, mostly. The driver was fantastic, but it was terrifying. One slip of the tire, one blowout of the tire, and we could have flipped off of a mountainside. It was risky. It was risky, but we were fine. Obviously, I'm back in one piece. I made it. I survived. We arrived at the location, I want to say around 9:45, 10 o'clock in the morning, but people had arrived there as early as 5 a.m. I heard. So there was just so many groups of people. The small boats that take you from the mainland over to the underground river location are small. They only hold 10 people max. And they were not taking, they tried to put as many people as possible on each boat, but it didn't happen because they were trying to keep groups together. So we were told numerous times while we were waiting that it would be 30 to 40 minutes. But then 30 minutes would pass and we would hear 30 to 40 minutes. So this happened several times. And in the end, it was approximately 2.5 hours between the first time we heard 30 to 40 minutes and when we actually stepped foot on the boat. So I did not get onto the first boat until after 12 p.m. And at that point, I was already freaking out. I was like, we do not have enough time to do this excursion today. We have been sitting in the buffet area all morning doing nothing. My understanding of this excursion is that we would be able to go do the underground river and then have free time to explore. What they didn't realize, or I guess was like the problem with today, is that there were so many groups to go to the river that people just had to wait for it. They just didn't say how long the wait was going to be. So it was 1 p.m. when we finally got on the boat to do the underground river tour. So remember, we arrived there at 9:45. 1 p.m. is when we actually got on the underground river boat. When we got back to the mainland to get back on the bus, we had to wait in line to get off the little boat. That boat ride itself was very bumpy. It was very unsafe water conditions. All said and done, we made it back with about 10 minutes to spare before they were putting the gangway up. We were 2 minutes before sail away time, not all aboard time. All aboard was 3:30 p.m. We got on the ship at 3:56 p.m. So we were 26 minutes after all aboard time. Fortunately, we were not the last bus back, and I believe that there were several Norwegian excursion buses with people who had booked through Norwegian behind us. So all we were trying to do is race those Norwegian buses, because if we beat them back, then the guarantee that the Norwegian booking would give them is that the ship would wait. And it did. You saw what happened in the video. If you want to take that risk yourself and not book through the cruise line, you can. Do I recommend it? Definitely not. Definitely not. I don't know if it was just a busier day than normal. Today is a Sunday. It is a weekend. That may have played a part. It's also holidays, so I'm sure that there are more people vacationing here than usual. I've told you all the information. I don't think it was worth it. It was very inexpensive. I think I paid $48 US dollars for this tour. So now you have a full idea of everything that happened today. The drive back was crazy. We were whipping around, flying past cars in the wrong lane, going 70, 80 kilometers an hour. But it was an adventure. It was an experience. I did enjoy the underground river. Do I think it was worth the stress of the day though? I honestly don't think that the excursion was. Now, if the excursion had gone to plan, arrive, go to the underground river, and then have time to spend on that beautiful beach, because in the morning it was sunny, it was great, it was beautiful, and then by the time we got out there, the weather had changed and it was not beautiful anymore. It was very overcast and cloudy and windy. The sea conditions were rough. The guide was great. It was very nice, but the time management piece was the problem. And I think that maybe he didn't have enough leverage potentially to get our group in front of the other groups that were going. I don't know. I don't know. All I can do is share my experience, and that was it. So tonight, we finally have our first production show this evening. It is Blazing Boots, which is one of my favorite Norwegian cruise shows on all of their ships, like a country rock production show. And it's fantastic. It's live singers, live band, all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, Norwegian does not allow filming production shows. Go see it for yourself. So I am going to go to dinner and go to the 9 o'clock show. Off to eat. This is a silly thing, but I'm at table number 17 for dinner. And 17 is the same number boat that I was on to get to and from the underground river today. Coincidence? So strange. It is bedtime for me. Tomorrow we are in Malaysia. So today was our last day in the Philippines. 5 ports and 5 days in the Philippines on this itinerary. Tomorrow's day 9. I can't believe it. It's already day 9. It's going by too fast, as it always does, but this is where I'm gonna call it. So stay tuned to see what I get up to tomorrow in Malaysia. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts about this excursion. Do you think it was worth it? Did I get what I paid for? Consider subscribing if you're not already to get notified when I post new videos of more exciting travel adventures to come in the future. Good night, thank you, and happy cruising.